at this time in grad school, did you start having reservations about?
Yeah, there were, but it wasn't anything that I thought. I was like, yeah, I'm not sure, but at the same time, I'm like, this is medicine. Don't be stupid. What else are you gonna do?
Right.
And so I also thought that, look, this is med school. Once I get to residency, once I'm a doctor, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be gratifying and saving lives. And eventually,
what was your emphasis?
I was doing internal medicine, then leaning towards cardiology or infectious disease, but I never subspecialized. So but as I got into it, it was just this thing of, I realized I kept waiting for it to become that thing of, oh yeah, this is
where I
love.
enjoy it. Yeah.
And I didn't, and it never came. And then I just kind of, it was a January night. I was in the intensive care unit.
So you graduate Columbia.
Go back to Colorado to do residency. So I'm
that worked
at the
out
University
nice.
of Colorado. Yeah.
Don't you have to pick your choices and then they pick you?
Which, by the way, is the craziest thing. So you've done 4 years of college. You've done 4 years of medical school.
Yeah.
You're among the most educated people. You've spent more money than 99.9% of the people on the planet on education. And it comes down to where you do your residency, you end up submitting a list. So you interview, you choose programs, and you say, I want to go. You could say, I want to go here for medicine, or here for orthopedics, or here. Usually you do it all in one area.
Right.
But you choose different areas. And so mine was, I think it was Seattle and Colorado and I think L.A.
Yeah.
LA, I think, was in there too. And so I submitted my rank 'em, and then the programs do the same thing. And then you have what's called match day, where your entire class walks into a room and they pull envelopes out and they go, Matt Iseman. And you come up and you open up your envelope and you find out. And the
Which
reality
hospital wanted you
the reality
to?
is like 80% of the people end up staying where they do their fellowship. So essentially, you're finding out where you're going to spend the rest of your life.
Yep.
And it's right here. And you think about it where you have some choice in it, but at the same time, this is it. And you're bound to that program. If you bail out, you have to skip an entire year, and it's looked on as frowned upon. And it's this comical thing of like, it's almost like this arranged marriage where you're like, isn't there a better system? But it was the most dramatic thing, like watching people open the envelope and just burst into tears, and other people cheer. And you're like, my God, after all this time, it's still this moment.
I have a few friends that finally started their residencies
recently.
recently.
God. And some people didn't match.
Yeah.
And they found out like the day before, and they're devastated.
But you got to go to where you wanted, Denver.
I got to go to Colorado, and so I go back, and I'm home with mom and dad, and my dad couldn't be happier because it's Dr. Iseman at Sun. I mean, this is the hospital where he's a professor.
Oh, wow.
And like Christmas Day of 98, I was on call, and he was the attending physician. So
that's
his
amazing.
Christmas present is he and I are rounding, seeing patients. And I mean, hey, it's my son. And then, a month later, I break his heart. I'm like, So
what was the turning point?
Oh, so I'm in the ICU.
You worked for a year
I'm in the ICU. It was like, it was a month later. It was in January.
A month after you moved back?
No. So you start like July 1st, which would never get sick in July because it's when the new people are there. So it was January. I'm in the intensive care unit.
Pro tip.
I'm in the intensive care unit, and we're getting slammed. We had like 6 new patients until you're working them up. And as a first year, you run everything by the second year. And so I'm asking this person questions, and I'm like, oh my God, in June, I'm going to be the second year. In June, I'm going to be making life or death decisions for people. And it just hit me like, I'm not, I just felt like I was a fraud. I felt like I'm not passionate enough about this. I'm not going home and looking up the latest literature and doing more research. I want to get out of there and forget about it. I want to go snowboard or go hang out with my friends or go drink or do anything. I just wanted to forget medicine. I'm like, I just felt like that feeling you got on Sunday night when you realized, oh my God, I have school for the week, where you're like the Sunday blues. I had that feeling.
I got
going
that
into the hospital
as an engineer on Sunday nights.
And I'm like, I was like, I don't want to live my life like this.
Yeah.
Like I've worked so hard, and am I going to be miserable? And so that was when I actually thought, all right, I'm not going to fully just walk away from medicine. I was thinking maybe I'll switch to emergency medicine. Maybe emergency medicine will be more dramatic, but you have to take an academic year to switch things. So I'm like, I've got a year.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a year.
Okay.
And I want to do something completely different. And I thought, I'd had friends who did ski bum years or travel. I'd done stand-up a couple times.
Oh, you had? When did you do that?
I did it in med school a couple times. Did some open mics in New York.
In New York? Oh, wow.
And And then
Did they go well?
The first show I ever did went amazingly well.
It always does.
The second show, and then there's no videotape. I've got an audio cassette of it. And I just recently listened to it, and I was like, honestly, it wasn't that bad. For my first time, I was like, I sound calm. The jokes are whatever, but, it was the first time.
Yeah.
And then the second time I have a videotape, and I bomb. 8 minutes of utter silence, and me like licking my lips and just awkwardly flicking a microphone cable. And I'm like, wow, how did I ever decide that this was the career for me when I bombed that badly the second time doing it? But I just kind of felt like it was something I'd never done. And I felt like my entire life I'd done sports or academics.
Right.
I'd never explored anything creative. And yet I'd always been like the guy who loved had this sense of like loving the spotlight.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I just wanted to try it. And so I move out here and just got a place in Venice.